Welcome to this exam briefing for A-Level Film Studies Component 1, which is on Wednesday the 24th of May 2023. Now we recommend you have a highlighter with you. Failing that, just highlight keywords in the questions that tell you whether it's a question on film form, whether they use specific film language, whether it's a question on meaning and response, such as issues of representation and aesthetics, whether the question is about the context of film, social, cultural, political, or institutional, or if it's a specialist study. So section A might be auteur, section B you might get a spectatorship, an ideology question, or a combination of both, and section C will be narrative and ideology, or a combination of both. So pick the question that you feel most confident on and make sure you highlight keywords. I would recommend just writing the word skemp as soon as you get into the exam and you're allowed to write. Sound, cinematography, editing, mise-en-scène, and P is for performance. Apply any critical approaches where appropriate, show your knowledge of contextual studies, and make sure you spend just 50 minutes on each section. Please be strict with yourself and move on after 50 minutes, otherwise you will run out of time. It's 3 equal sections of 40 marks each unless you get extra time, and please make sure you adhere to the timing schedule. We would recommend spending time writing an essay plan. It will save time later when you start writing. Use whatever system you prefer, either Peel or Peter, and structure your response like we said. Spend about 5 to 8 minutes planning and the rest of the 50 minutes writing. Make sure you have a conclusion based on your analysis. If it's a 2-film essay, write 1 conclusion. Communicate early in each essay that you understand the question. Write it in your opening statement. Get to the film studied in each essay quickly, so reduce waffle and reduce describing the plot. Make sure you analyze and deconstruct key scenes from each film. It's best to know key scenes in detail rather than skimming over the entire film, although it's very, very useful to know the context of each scene before you start talking about it, so it doesn't just sound like you learn key scenes, that you know and you understand the whole film. Try and apply critical approaches wherever possible. I would recommend you pausing the screen and making sure you understand where to apply each of these theorists. If you don't remember the name, that's fine, as long as you know and understand how to apply their theory and whether the film challenges or reinforces this said theory. It might be useful to pause the video at this point to make sure you have a good understanding of the following key scenes from Casablanca. Similarly, here is a list of the key scenes we recommend you study from Apocalypse Now. I would pause the video at this point to make sure you have a good understanding of the following bullet points. When it comes to section B of the exam, remember that Inception is a mainstream film. Captain Fantastic is an independent or contemporary independent. You are studying ideology, so application of feminist or political, one or the other or both. Issues of spectatorship, understand that ideology is either explicit or implicit. We've got the element of spectacle, active and passive spectatorship, spectator alignment, allegiance, and the camera gaze. Key scenes I would recommend for both. The opening and ending scenes for both are amazing. Recruitment of Ariadne, paradoxical architecture in Inception, the bit with the Penrose steps. And level 3, the snow is pretty good as well. Captain Fantastic, where the funeral scene, the bit where Jack tells Ben it's child abuse. Noam Chomsky Day amongst many, but Captain Fantastic has lots of great key scenes to delve into. Choose the one you feel most confident with. The dinner table scene is very loaded with meaning. When it gets to section C, you are applying ideology again, but this time you are applying narrative. Also, narrative techniques include binary opposites, props, character tropes, patterns and repetition, and Todorovian narrative structure. Shaun of the Dead is a hybrid rom-com zom. I think I've got that the right way around. Edgar Wright's kinetic camera style features heavily, and it's example of post-modernist piece. This is England. Again, it is a social realist film, one of Shane Meadows' most personal films. Shane Meadows and Sean Fields, very similar to upbringing, so it's very personal. I would study the opening and ending for both films, the credit scene from Shaun of the Dead, trip to the shops, rescuing Liz, and the Winchester, where David becomes a false hero. When it comes to This Is England, the title sequence is equally as important. The opening and ending is very strong. When Lowell rejects Combo, it's good. This Is England speech, when Milky gets beaten. Sandu's shot when it appears twice is very good. And then, as we studied the other day, the beach scene is very good for analysis too. And lastly, a massive good luck from us all in the media arts department. Show off and write loads.